Have you ever wondered what you would do if you saw a complete stranger being attacked? Would you step in, or would you walk away? For most people, it's a split-second decision, a gut reaction. But for one woman, that split-second choice led to a series of events so unbelievable. It sounds like it came straight out of a Hollywood movie. This is the incredible story of a selfless act, a shocking injury, and a phone call that would change your life forever. It all started on a seemingly ordinary day. Our hero of the story, let's call her Sarah, was just going about her business, running errands like any other day. She wasn't looking for trouble. She wasn't trying to be a hero. She was just in the right place at the wrong time. Or maybe the right place at the right time. As she was walking, she noticed a commotion up ahead. A man was being verbally harassed by a group of aggressive individuals. Sarah could have kept walking. She could have put in her headphones, looked at her phone, and pretended she didn't see anything. That's what many people might have done. But something about the man being targeted made her stop. He was an elderly gentleman, and from his posture and the pin on his jacket, she recognized him as a military veteran. Her own grandfather had served, and she had a deep, ingrained respect for those who had sacrificed for their country. The verbal harassment quickly escalated. The group started shoving the veteran, trying to intimidate him. He stood his ground, but he was clearly outnumbered and vulnerable. That's when Sarah's instincts took over. Without a second thought, she walked right into the middle of the confrontation. She tried to de-escalate the situation, telling the attackers to leave the old man alone. She placed herself between the veteran and his aggressors, creating a human shield. Her bravery was met with hostility. The group turned their anger towards her. In the chaotic moments that followed, one of the attackers pulled out a sharp object. Sarah felt a sudden, searing pain in her side. She had been stabbed. The shock and the pain were immense, but even as she staggered back, her first thought was still for the veteran's safety. Her courageous intervention, however, had created enough of a distraction. People nearby had started to notice, pulling out their phones to call for help. The attackers, realizing they had drawn too much attention, fled the scene. Paramedics arrived within minutes. As they tended to Sarah's wound, she kept asking if the veteran was okay. He was shaken but unharmed. Thanks to air, he stood by her side, his eyes filled with gratitude and disbelief at her selflessness. Sarah was rushed to the hospital, her condition serious but stable. The news of her heroic act spread like wildfire. Local news channels picked up the story. Woman stabbed while defending elderly veteran. Social media lit up with posts praising her courage and condemning the senseless attack. Sarah woke up in her hospital bed the next morning, sore and groggy from the medication. Her family was there, relieved but also worried. She was just a regular person, and now she was at the center of a major news story. Her phone was buzzing nonstop with messages from friends, family, and even complete strangers who had heard what she had done. It was overwhelming. She was hailed as a hero, but she didn't feel like one. She just felt like she had done what anyone should have done. As she was trying to process everything that had happened in the last 24 hours, a nurse came into her room with a peculiar look on her face. She told Sarah there was a very important phone call for her. Thinking it was another reporter, Sarah was hesitant, but the nurse insisted. This was a call she would want to take. Confused, Sarah took the phone. A calm, professional voice on the other end said, "Hello, am I speaking with Sarah?" She confirmed it was her. The voice continued, "Please hold for the President of the United States." Sarah's heart stopped. She thought it had to be a prank. Her family, who had overheard, looked at her with wide, disbelieving eyes. Was this really happening? A moment later, a very familiar and powerful voice filled the line. It was, indeed, the President. He told her that he had heard about her extraordinary bravery. He said that her selfless act of courage, stepping in to protect a veteran, represented the very best of the American spirit. He spoke about how, in a world that can sometimes feel divided and cold, her actions were a beacon of hope and a reminder of the good in people. He expressed his personal gratitude and the gratitude of the entire nation for what she had done. Sarah was speechless, tears welling up in her eyes. It all felt surreal. But the President wasn't finished. He then extended an official invitation. He wanted to honor her personally at the White House. He invited her and her family to be his special guests once she had recovered from her injuries. He wanted to present her with a civilian award for her courage, to share her story with the country as an example of heroism and compassion. In just 24 hours, Sarah's life had been turned completely upside down. She had gone from being an anonymous citizen to being stabbed while protecting a stranger, and now she was receiving a personal invitation from the president. It was a whirlwind of pain, fear, shock, and now overwhelming honor. After the call ended, the hospital room was silent for a moment before erupting in joyful, tearful celebration. The news of the presidential call added another incredible chapter to her story, and the media attention grew even more intense. But through it all, Sarah remained humble. In interviews from her hospital bed, she consistently deflected the praise. She said, "I'm not a hero. I just saw someone who needed help, someone who deserved our respect, and I did what I hope anyone would do." Her story resonated deeply with millions of people. It was a powerful reminder that heroes aren't just characters in comic books. They are ordinary people who, in a critical moment, choose to do something extraordinary. They are people who see injustice and decide to act, no matter the personal cost. Sarah's split-second decision to help a stranger didn't just save a veteran from harm. It ignited a national conversation about courage, respect, and community. A few weeks later, after a successful recovery, Sarah and her family traveled to Washington, D.C. She stood in the Oval Office, a place she had only ever seen in pictures, shaking hands with the president. As he presented her with the award, he once again praised her actions, holding her up as a role model for all Americans. The elderly veteran she had saved was also there, standing proudly with her, his personal thank you echoing the sentiment of the entire nation. Sarah's story serves as a powerful testament to the impact one person can have. It shows that true courage isn't the absence of fear, but acting in spite of it. Her incredible journey from a sidewalk scuffle to a White House ceremony is a story we should all remember. It challenges us to ask ourselves that same question: what would you do? Sarah's answer changed her life and inspired a nation. Thank you so much for watching. If this story moved you, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more incredible true stories that will restore your faith in humanity. Don't forget to share this video to spread Sarah's inspiring message of courage. We'll see you in the next one.